Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today, I'm going to be looking at what I think may be the next incoming crossover to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and it may just be coming sooner than we expected, guys. So I am going to be looking at the possibility of either a Final Fantasy XVI crossover, which I think there's probably like about a 50-50 chance on that, or possibly a Final Fantasy VII Advent Children crossover. However, I think that the Advent Children crossover has a lower percentage chance of actually happening. Now, I'm going to show you guys two reasons why I think that these crossovers may be coming toward the to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis sooner than we think, and that is going to be because in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and I'm going to jump out of the game right here and go over to this Square Enix video. Final Fantasy Brave Exvius has just announced a collaboration with Final Fantasy XVI. On top of that, War of the Visions, the other Final Fantasy mobile game, has just announced a collaboration with Advent Children, guys. Alright, so there are two collaborations in the mix right now of the three main Square Enix games for Final Fantasy. Now, I know that the Critical Business Unit 3, or the Creative Business Unit 3, Yoshi P, is not like super fond of mobile gacha games, and I know that it can be hard for the mobile gacha companies to find time to work with him, which leads me to believe that if they were going to work on a collaboration with one of these gacha games like they have here for Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, that they might as well work on the collaborations for all three of them at the same time. That would save the most time and effort and energy, as at least they can take one little deviation from their main projects, get it over with, and then go back to it. So without further ado, I'm going to play you guys the trailer for the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius Final Fantasy XVI collaboration. Wow, that's a lot of Final Fantasies in there. And yeah, let's check it out, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. I mean, come on, guys. Clive would be so sick. If Cloud got a Clive costume with that blade, I mean, it would be one of the coolest looking things in the game. Let's be real. I loved Final Fantasy XVI. I'm super excited for the Rising Tide. I hope we get a crossover. So sick, guys. Come on. I'm curious, who do you guys think would be Jill? Would it be Tifa? I think it might be Tifa. If they changed her hair and made it... Oh, I think it would definitely be Tifa. I'm not quite sure that it would be Aerith. I couldn't really see her wielding a sword. Oh, man. Who could it be? Honestly, it would be super sick. I'm so curious to see which of the characters would be Jill. And then for Joshua, I'm not even really sure about that either. Maybe Glenn or Matt, actually. Alright guys, so I'm not going to lie, I haven't played Final Fantasy Brave Exvius in a lot of years. I did play it originally. I've always been on some type of mobile game for Final Fantasy, and I just feel like they just keep getting better, to be honest. Except for DFF00, that game was absolutely legendary, and it's sad to see it go. Moment of silence for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. And Mobius, that game was fun too. Alright guys, but I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you think Final Fantasy XVI will be coming? What would you rather have, Advent Children or Final Fantasy XVI? That being said, Advent Children has just been announced as a collaboration for War of the Visions. Now, I was a big content creator for War of the Visions. I made hundreds of PvP videos showcasing teams. I got rank number 1 in the arena, and I led a guild from bronze 3 all the way up into the top 50, which was honestly one of the funnest, most amazing times of my life, and I really loved the camaraderie that my guild had. Shout out to Farsight, you guys are amazing. I'm still a sub leader in the guild. I've just been kind of entranced with Ever Crisis since then. That being said, guys, since there is a collaboration coming for War of the Visions, I feel like there's a chance we might get one in Ever Crisis. I think that would be awesome. I've been waiting for Cloud and his Advent Children costume to drop in War of the Visions since day 1 of the game. The AC Cloud costume is literally why I am here. I want to play it in all the games, and I cannot wait for it to come out to Ever Crisis. That being said, I don't think it's likely that AC will drop just because we're not at that point in the story. But it is cool to check it out. And for those of you, I know there's a few War of the Visions players on here. Let's watch the new trailer for the War of the Visions Final Fantasy Advent Children collaboration. So nostalgic. I watched this movie like 100 times when it first came out. And then Advent Children Complete just made it so good. There it is, guys. Oh, such a sick scene right there. You guys imagine this coming out for Ever Crisis? Cloud is light too. Damn, that was the full Ascension limit break in a single skill. And Omni Slash version 5. Alright guys, so Cloud would obviously get Cloud. Tifa, I mean, it's a crossover, it'd be AC. All of them would get their own things. I would love Tifa in this costume. It looks so sick. Do you imagine her in Ever Crisis sporting this, guys? Tifa would look absolutely amazing in Ever Crisis in this costume. I can't even imagine what her abilities would be. I feel like this is too far in the future though, but still, it's theory crafting and it's fun to dream about it. Kadaja. It is so sick to actually see Kadaj becoming a playable character in these games. I'm curious who would get Kadaj's costume from Advent Children. Would it be Sephiroth? Because I feel like Sephiroth would get his own costume from that. I don't know, actually, unless they actually make Kadaj a playable character, but I don't think that they would actually do that. Oh, here he comes. Oh yeah, so it is going to be introducing. That's the one-winged Sephiroth, one-winged angel costume, guys. And we've seen it already in Ever Crisis, so like we know it's coming at one point. You know, for those of you guys that were there for the original Sephiroth crash fight.
母さんに会えたんだ。全力で行く。
Guys, I cannot wait for Cloud to unlock the Omni Slash version 5 for an actual limit break in this game. I know that's like major end game, and we just unlocked Clim Hazard. So it's like we got Meteor Rain, Finishing Touch, however many of the limit breaks they decide to adopt over from Remake, plus the original Omni Slash, then Omni Slash version 5. I mean, there's a lot to see before we get here, but I still think it's going to be so sick when the game actually develops to that point. And there you guys have it. So these are my thoughts as of right now. There are 2 collabs coming out. They say what happens twice happens thrice. This is why I have recommended all players hold off from pulling these recent banners, just because I have a feeling that if we're gonna get something, we're gonna find out more about it around the 18th, 19th, or 20th. So even though I'm really on the fence about Tifa's Water Arcanum, same with Kate Sith's critical costume and Barrett's new costume, I would love to pull for these guys, but if there is a crossover coming, that's one of those things where you really need extra crystals, because you're at least trying to get to OB4 on the one main weapon that you're pulling, right? So for me, I'm just gonna hold off, hope that we get something like this. You know, I know that a lot of people don't have crystals, and maybe this isn't the right time for this to drop into the game. I'm just dreaming here, and you know, I've skipped all the recent banners since the last Sephiroth Zack limit break draw. So maybe we don't get this for a couple months. I know that it might be a little bit too soon since we just had the Rebirth crossover, but that was only one banner. So I feel like maybe we might just get a small crossover to follow it, guys. My thought is that it could very well be 16. Advent Children looks enticing, but I think maybe it's too soon. But I'm curious, what do you guys have to think? I'm going to jump back into the regular game right here. I would be super excited to see this stuff. I know a lot of you guys would be absolutely stoked to see it as well. I'm curious what you guys have to say, what your thoughts are. That being said, if you guys enjoyed this video today, don't forget to drop a like, and if you're keen for more Ever Crisis content to come, subscribe to the channel. I'd be glad to have you. Hope you guys all have a wonderful night. Take care, and peace.